Berserk and Vinland Saga are two of the biggest masterpieces you'll ever find in anime and manga. Their main characters, Guts and Thorfinn, are without a doubt huge reasons as to why each series is so good and memorable, as well as schnoz. However, while a majority of people who read/watch Berserk or Vinland Saga grow attached to Guts and Thorfinn, there's a very vocal minority that is completely the opposite. After experiencing the first chapters, episodes, or arc, some tend to dismiss them both as characters that are too edgy, one-dimensional, and unlikable. Well, what if I told you that you're supposed to not like them? What if I told you you should hate these characters? In fact, I think it's important to do so in order to fully appreciate and enjoy each respective series. And before my fellow Berserk and Vinland Saga fans get mad, I'm on your team, alright? In fact, I'm trying to convert these haters onto our side, so let me use my talk no jutsu for a second.
Shut your f***ing mouth!
Alright, so as I was saying, you should hate Guts and Thorfinn when you start their series. Why? Because Miura and Yukimura wrote their protagonists at the beginning of the series as either morally questionable, if not outright terrible people. They also both have pretty jarring, combative personalities. Whether it's the Black Swordsman arc or the Prologue Arc, both Guts and Thorfinn are extremely violent, selfish warriors who care little about innocent bystanders, if not directly endangering them, are on their personal quest for revenge fueled by anger and hatred, and believe that the weak should suffer under the hands of the strong. Now, does it sound like Miura and Yukimura were trying to write characters that you'd want to share a couple of beers with and bring to the function? No, I didn't think so. You'd probably just get the party raided by Vikings or demons from an extra-dimensional plane. So, it should be clear now that Guts and Thorfinn in their introduction arcs are hateable by design. They are meant to be depicted as unlikable and selfish, and the mangakas did this on purpose for the overarching narrative, character arcs, and overall quality of their series. How so? Well, it is no coincidence that the Black Swordsman and Prologue arcs, which include Guts and Thorfinn at arguably their most unlikable stages, are followed up by the Golden Age and the Farmland Saga arc. Both of these arcs are seen by many fans as not only the best within Berserk and Vinland Saga or the anime and manga medium, but peak fiction as a whole. And what else do the Golden Age and Farmland Saga arcs have in common? They both use the main characters that were set up to be dislikable in their previous arcs, and within that context, built upon them significantly in order to add depth to their character. These are both character-defining arcs that set the stage for the entire series and made each MC become a favorite for countless fans. And yet neither arc would have worked if not for the hateable nature of the main characters in their first arc. The Golden Age adds important context for Guts' rage, hate, and near sadistic nature by contrasting it with how he was before. The Farmland Saga arc relies on Thorfinn's actions as a result of his blinding, vengeful personality in order to reflect upon it. Simply put, the foreboding sense of tragedy in the Golden Age would not have hit the same if we saw Guts and Black Swordsman smiling like a goofy goober all day. Farmland Saga's inner conflict and character development for Thorfinn would not have worked if he hadn't already racked up a higher villager kill count than a Minecraft YouTuber. Alright, so us fans hate Guts and Thorfinn at the start of their series, or at least hate aspects of their character or actions in the beginning. But what about the people that hate them at the start, hate the entire series, and then just drop it? Well, in those cases, I think it's because people are not able to realize there's a big difference between hating on a character because they are purposely written to be hateable and that the author is going somewhere with this, versus hating a character because they're written awfully, their thoughts and actions make no sense or have no importance to the story's narrative or themes. Like haters of Thorfinn and Vinland, my brother in Christ, it is literally called the Prologue Arc. How can it be any more obvious that there is more to the story than him being edgy? But hey, the point is, you can hate a character knowing you're supposed to hate them and enjoy the series as a whole. So if Berserk and Vinland Saga and its characters are written so well, why do some in the community write them off so quickly and hate not only the characters but the entire series? Well, the answer is obvious, right? It's a skill issue.
Skill issue.
Okay, but on a serious note, it's more of a media literacy issue. You see, in our post-TikTok consumer society where blood is replaced by dopamine and having an attention span higher than a goldfish is outlawed, it can be pretty difficult for a lot of people to sit down and have the patience to sit with an unlikable character, analyze their actions and thoughts, and critically think as to what it means for the character and the story. More often than not, if a character isn't fun or pleasing to watch either aesthetically or emotionally, viewers will just turn to something else that fulfills that. And we're all victims of this to an extent. This need for positive stimulation at all times. I mean, why do you think I put so many memes in this video to retain attention? Oh, you think you're an exception? Alright, well, here's 5 seconds of dead silence and no stimulation. Agonizing, right? Alright, so rant aside, what's my point? Well, what I'm trying to say is with little patience and media literacy, many people hate Guts and Thorfinn but miss the moments that show that there is more to their character than meets the eye. These moments are supposed to build interest, intrigue, and keep you invested in the character. It's the author basically saying, let me cook, I'm going somewhere with this. Even without their follow-up arcs, these moments are present for both characters in the beginning. But they're missable if one isn't able to analyze the underlying message beneath the picture and critically think as to what it means for the MC. And I know this might sound a bit elitist, but I'm not even trying to be pretentious here. I'm not talking about some secret theme or theory in the background. I'm just talking about looking at certain statements or events and thinking about their implications. For example, in this very early chapter of Berserk, Puck reads Guts' emotions and says there's more to his emotions than just anger and rage, clearly hinting that there is something beneath his harsh exterior. Not convinced? Let's do a quick test to illustrate my point then, shall we? When Guts kills a girl's father and she threatens to off herself, fatherless activities, am I right? Guts tells her to do it, but then saves her life and encourages her to keep on living, if only to exact revenge on him, drawing parallels to his own quest for revenge against Femto that we saw earlier. We then see Guts turning away from her, attempting to hide a face of sadness and regret. Why do you think Guts is making this face? You're exactly correct. Guts had a bad tummy ache, and since he's really cool, he's fighting it without asking for Pepto-Bismol and holding it all in. He's not at all showing a sense of self-awareness at how his actions have created another person striving down the same dark path as him, also revealing that he has regrets of his own about his destructive quest for revenge and demonstrating he can feel sympathy and sadness for others. Not at all. What are you, some kind of nerd? When Thorfinn helps the Vikings destroy and pillage a village while also trying to tell innocents to run away before they're killed, shows shock and remorse when the old woman who took care of him starts crying at the sight of him killing and has flashbacks to the family he lost, he then takes a deep breath into an apathetic face. Why does Thorfinn do this? You're 100% right. Thorfinn was thinking, fuck these bozos, I don't care about this boomer bitch, I'm not even gonna get any of that social security anyways. He's not at all repressing his intense guilt over his responsibility for the deaths of countless innocents and betraying his father's moral lessons in order to continue his violent pursuit of killing Askeladd. Alright, so you get my point now. With enough media literacy, you can hate a character after they've done something horrible while being aware that the writer wants you to hate them and is planting the seeds for something bigger, and ultimately enjoy the series as a whole. Real quick, another recent example of this I've seen is Chainsaw Man. Yes, Denji is stupid, not the best person at times, and is a huge simp. But these negative traits inform his thoughts and actions as a character, which have consequences and tie into the story narratively and thematically. So him being stubbornly fixated on booba grabs is kind of the point of his character. Alright, so back to the main topic. What's the solution to this problem then? Well, when experiencing a series, I would just recommend one to be patient. If you dislike a character or certain events, try to distinguish between hating it because the writing is bland, contrived, lacks build-up, or isn't going anywhere with its characters, as opposed to hating something that is meant to be hated by design and thus part of the bigger picture. Now, nothing is perfect, and I'm not saying Berserk and Vinland Saga don't have things about it that can be criticized. Even series that have things that are meant to be hated can still flat out be bad if not built up or executed properly. Just look at the whole subverting expectations trend in media now. But my point is, Berserk and Vinland Saga are examples of this done masterfully, and I see this being lost in translation for a very vocal minority. So yes, you should hate Guts and Thorfinn, but it's because of this hate, that you're able to fully appreciate their growth and love them as a character after their initial arc. It's because of this hate that you're able to love their series as the mangakas envisioned. Unless it's Berserk 2016, I fucking hate that piece. Alright guys, like and subscribe if you liked the video. You guys have a good one.